Okay, we've spent
Yeah.
forever talking about me, and I want to talk about you. I'm glad that you reserved it for camera. Thanks for all of the interrogation beforehand, and I can catch you up
It's
on all the
okay.
things after.
I want it.
But I just find you truly fascinating. And let me tell you why. Like, so that you understand where I'm coming from. And it's not just some weird thing. I mean, it could be.
Well,
But
I'm open to that.
but it's just as I've gotten to know you, and what was it? Did I meet you 2 years ago? Right?
Two or more. It might have
Yeah,
been three at this point.
three.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 to 3 years. Um, I was just so like in this crowd of people, like immediately like, yes, you are my person. You're normal in the fact that you're looking around like I am and going, interesting. That's a choice.
Hmm.
And experiencing this. And neither of us were in it for like that wasn't our moneymaker. We were in it because we wanted to be there and we didn't know why. And I loved that about you because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And you're like, me neither. And
Hmm.
I'm just here. We're gonna see what happens.
We brought the books.
Yes.
Let's see who's here,
Yeah.
including us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just sat there very calmly. You were so organized, by the way. I have that shipping thing now, or what
I
that is, the
love it.
trolley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
brilliant. I was like, how do you carry all that stuff? And you're like, look at my magic trunk. And I'm like, thank you, Mary Poppins.
That's right. I'm not
Um,
carrying it.
yeah,
Forget it. I'll
you're
drag it really hard, but I'm not carrying
yeah. Well, and
it.
you have everything in there. The top shelf is snacks. The second shelf is books. I was like, this is brilliant.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I remember thinking that, and then as I've gotten to know you over the years, it's been just a pure joy. It's amazing watching you. And the reason I'm fascinated by you is there's a variety of people that are givers in life. They're really giving, sacrificial, all of that. And at the same time, you don't sacrifice. You give and give and give a lot, more than I've seen most people. You stay calm and say no a lot. And
That's a learned behavior.
is it
That's
okay?
a that
Tell me
that
about
was
it.
not natural. Yeah, I was trained like many to like just say yes. And when I became an entrepreneur, when I became a copywriter, when I like started doing things, and that was at the time around like the year of saying yes, which, like before you have a year of saying yes, like, can we explore discernment and like what am I saying yes to? Can we play that out a little bit more? So that was definitely no has been a learned behavior and a boundary in terms of once there's a no, I also don't need to explain.
Yeah,
So
that's something I do like about you too. You just are like, no, tell me.
yeah, yeah, it also a practice that
Okay.
was not comfortable. Plenty of times I've said no and then wanted to keep going, to be heard, to have people understand when really it was just really important that I understand
How did
that.
you get to this? Like you're saying these are practices and things learned. How did you go, I need to learn this? And how do you learn that?
Yeah, I got a lot of this direction, I guess we'll call it, from a program called Al-Anon, which is a program for families affected by somebody else's addictive behavior. They call it affected by somebody else's drinking, but it could be by somebody else's thinking.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Okay.
like our thoughts and how we're sort of swimming in our own mindset or perspective is usually what's happening before any external behavior comes into play. This I've also had the experience of in terms of disordered eating, drinking, that
You've
sort of stuff.
experienced those things.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
So
So before you got to know, you had already gone through some your own challenges with drinking and eating.
mhm. Yeah, over and under eating. So
Yeah.
basically, like it was ultimately it was I felt like I was in this can't win conundrum of I want too much or I am too much
Mm,
or I'm not enough.
mm,
And so those two, like nobody can win that. If I think I'm too much, talking too much, like I've heard for many years that my laugh is so loud, which I have earned. So I'm comfortable in like, yeah, I earned my loud laugh,
I love your laugh.
and that's what it is.
Mm.
That's what it is. It can overtake a room. Like acoustic sound stuff is a thing sometimes. And that's the moment.
Do you think so? These we're going way back now.
We're good.
So was this like patterns? Because it sounds like to me that you just had a very restrictive environment, maybe,
Hmm.
that you weren't allowed to be yourself.
Yeah.
So then you ended up creating these behaviors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that had a lot to do with like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to try to be good, or I'm going to be invisible. I'm going to try to be invisible. And one of the things that was really challenging was discounting my own needs as a human.
Mhm.
So there was a period when I was newly in recovery of many kinds. And it was really inconvenient. Self-care was extremely inconvenient because it was so much easier for me to read the room and the people in the room and have a knack for timing. So it was easier for me to observe without putting myself in there or just reacting. So that was a coping mechanism that just kept myself like, okay, how can I be helpful here? How can I fly under the radar, stay safe, not be too much, not ask too much? Like a sensitive human who was just trying to get some needs met, but also not to be punished for having them or yelled at. I mean, some people would say it's punishment now. And like back when I was growing up in the 70s, it was just like parenting. So,
Yeah. Right?
like,
Yeah.
that job has changed, still largely unpaid for parenting. So,
Mhm.
like,
No, we
different.
pay for the therapy after.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and like, oh, nobody tells you that that parenting is going to be one effing hard. I did opt out. I'm not a parent of a biological child. I'm auntie to many. That's good enough for this time around, but it's not, I think I forgot what I was going to say. It's very difficult to have that kind of observation, but the only real perfect parenting is reparenting. And
Mm.
we each get to do that in our way. There's no way, like, I don't care how many parents you have, like step parents, extended family, best friends, nobody can be it all for you.
Well, we're
Or
complex.
we have a lot of different needs. And so, like, identifying and nurturing, which we're not often taught to do. Like I remember kindergarten as being an instructional time for nurturing. And that solely had to do with my teacher, Miss Walker. So like that, that's because she was a loving and nurturing woman who was willing to take on 36 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
I am not willing.
Right.
I am not willing, but
At that point, is that when you kind of realized like maybe you were missing something in your
missing. So I thought that something was really wrong with me,
Mm.
that I was so sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
you as a child you were like this isn't aligning.
Yeah, it was very inconvenient. It was really inconvenient to those around me that I would observe, that I would walk early, that I would talk early. Like my chart is full of Gemini, which is all about quickness and communication.
Mhm.
And, for parents at that time, that that was a lot.
Mm.
That was a lot. And I had curiosity, like I crossed the street at 3, much to my mom's terror. Terror. I'm like, yeah, here I go. Not really afraid of the world, just sort of like, okay, I'm here in it and I'm going there. And I don't recall that, but that's apparently what happened.
Hmm.
Walking at 9 months, like just early start stuff that, when parents have, I guess, 105 jobs, that's what it seems like.
Mhm.
They don't have a whole lot of time for themselves either.
Mhm.
So, young parent, my mom was a young mom, and which is 22, which might have been old in the 70s, but like, but that was her experience, and she hadn't had a whole lot of time sort of living on her own at all.
Mhm.
And so she was young, she had kids young. We were all close in age. We're all close in age. I have two younger brothers, and I was very individualistic and sensitive.
It sounds like in the language you're using, you're giving a lot of grace, which is exactly why I'm like, how do you do this? But when you were younger, was that grace there? Like you realized something was
Nope.
wrong, and then,
I took it all on. I made myself really wrong. I was the problem. And so I would try to like do the good thing or the right thing or the sensitive thing to somebody else. So it was really a lot about people pleasing is what they say now, but also like, and then I would get really bad at it because I would have needs and then I would explode in like a glorious fireball
okay.
of needs, which also hard.
And was this coming through like anger, sadness, bitter? Like, what was the,
Emotionality, it was
yeah,
like
just,
big emotions. And
okay.
so it was a lot of like I fought with my brothers a lot, I fought with my mom a lot, and I didn't feel heard or understood. And I certainly didn't understand myself, like, oh, it's me again. Oh, it's me again. Instead of,
Oh.
oh, somebody else is having like, oh, that has nothing to do with me. I wonder what I think about that.
Was there like a pivotal moment when you finally were like, this is changing? This isn't me. This isn't who. Is there something that came?
I think it was a lot of smaller things like in my I studied theater in college, and so in my like grand adventure I want like the giant dramatic display, and it wasn't that. It isn't that. It's more like, oh, what's available now? Oh, what's available now? I keep drawing cards lately. Like right now for the last 5 years I've kept drawing Diana,
Mm,
which is all about focus and intention and also hunting, right? So, like, okay, very direct, very specific. I've also gotten the Tower and the Kali Ma cards. So, like, oh, and it's crumbling. Okay. I see this. I see this. So, like, oh, okay. And lately I've been pulling a goddess card called Rhea,
hmm.
which is for flow. So I'm like, okay, yeah, nothing's wrong. So a lot of it really had to do with self-talk, but it was in granular elements because uh as a I have a lot in my mental capacity that's just very fast. Ideas come really fast. Humor and wit are part of the package here this time around. So like I want to say it, I want to capture it, and then I want to move on. I want to say it, I want to capture it, I want to take action on it, and then I'm out. So that turns out is a very comfortable flow for me. And I used to say before I had to slow way, way, way down when I first got into taking a look at what the behaviors were that were not serving this human instrument, specifically over and under eating and drinking alcohol. So before like I had to slow way down in order to taper out and get really clear on what is going on in my head, because if it's going really fast then I'm not going to notice it.
Hmm.
So I need to slow it down, which I hated. Like I said for many years that fifth gear is my favorite. It's not like blurry, Great, I'm in. And
I do understand
I'm
that.
like,
Because I'm that, and people are just like, well, I can't keep up with you. And I was like, okay, we'll hire another person. Okay, let's get it.
I'm still going. I'm
Not
still,
slowing
yeah,
down.
yeah. You collect and enjoy and do it. And I'm like, I'd rather not linger. But I think there was a lot of fear that was driving me. And now it's
Mhm.
more like, oh, I know who I am, and that's because I repeat, and I would recommend repeating, I know who I am.
And no one else does.
Even if you don't know who you are, if you say you know who you are, then you're like encouraging more of it. Like
Hmm.
I'm creating a lot of space right now because I'm like, oh, that's a space. There's some space. Look at all that space. Oh, I'm getting more space,
Hmm.
which I want.
Hmm.
So a lot of it has to do with self-talk in terms of like, okay, but I had to slow down because being a blur doesn't mean you're being intentional. It didn't mean it for me. It doesn't mean I'm intentional. It meant I was reacting. If I'm responding and I'm working with sort of an intentional hunting drive,
Hmm.
like my card says, then okay, like you can go fast and be direct and get there and have your needs met, and it's so fun, and there's nothing wrong. Other people are having whatever experience it is they are having. I know what my experience is
Hmm.
because I'm not missing it.
Right? Yeah. I'm kind of trying to put this timeline together.
I don't know
So,
if we can.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's there. It's there.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I get the childhood, and then you've brought up a couple times like the eating and drinking.
Yeah.
When did that kind of like stop? Because assuming based off of some of the other answers that it kind of built up and maybe it took a bit to even notice it was happening. So there's no like, oh, it started this day.
Right, right, right.
But then like, oh, I was about this age when I realized this wasn't normal and stopped that.
Yeah, it was on and off for a long time. As a child, I would like sneak a lot of sweets and
Mm.
food. And so, it would always help me go faster.
Oh yeah, sugars.
It's going to help me go faster.
Mhm.
And there is some form of safety and invisibility in being a blur as well. So like,
That's a really good point. Mhm.
yeah, so it was pointed out to me many times. And then when I was at a place where I was like, okay, I'm out of ideas, then it was 2004.
Mhm.
That's what I can't recall my age. I think I was mid 30s at that point. So like 2004. And that's when I went and got some recovery help. That's also my sobriety year. Um, June 1st, 2004. So, that really helped clear my body of like all the work it was doing. And then then the emotions came alive, right?
Ah,
So once like the substance goes down or the thinking goes down or you're in new thoughts, you're in a new perspective, then like, oh, everything that was trying to be suppressed is now available for examination.
that kind of makes me think about because of the construct that you like really structure that you were raised in.
Hmm.
And in 2004 is when you really started making some proactive choices to get help versus trying to do it on your own. And
Which we're
how,
taught. Yeah.
yeah, how how is that with your relationship? Because I imagine when I think about your childhood and what you've described, it being very traditional and strict and concerned, and
Yeah.
you live a very non-traditional life. But oddly enough, you have a lot of traditional principles. And so people
Yeah.
who don't always they see you just show up and which I have happened too. Like if they see me, I'm like covered in tattoos and I have this
Right.
wild hair, and people are like, let's go party. And I'm like, I try to kill myself. You know, that's poison, right? And then they're like, never mind, you
That's
look
not really
fine.
my gig.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, creative does not mean that we're abusive.
Right.
Like,
Or like that's not my season.
yeah,
Like,
true.
please enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I sit there and I think about that with you, of like, those are some big things. Like coming to, I'm going to go get help is really against the grain. And then you made relationship choices that were
Mhm.
right for you, that
Mhm.
were against the grain. And your lifestyle as a whole, like your job, everything, you're like, I'm going to do me. Was this through the 2004, it finally coming to peace with yourself and being, no? Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh no. No, no,
Okay.
no.
Well, tell me the messy
It was
story.
like it was unmanageable, honestly, and it was unmanageable in a lot of ways. Like I
I imagine you were always these things. You just couldn't express
expressed.
it. So it's like, I can't imagine living in this box
Hmm.
that you were in.
It was very it was like the most torturous game of a cross between Tetris and Battleship. So
Okay.
trying to guess what's on the other side to like score like whatever points, and then also like which ones can I move around and manipulate. So it was a lot of projecting
Mm.
onto other people and also onto myself, because like, oh, okay, I think this is how we do it. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Are we doing it? Am I doing it? Does it look like I'm doing it? Which is anxiety
Mm-hmm.
producing.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a lot of time in anxious times. So it was just a mess. And so it was gradual, which is not what anybody hears or markets. Is like,
I know.
oh, this is about like how much capacity do you have to be with yourself and your emotions? So not sexy.
And not a lot of people have the capacity. They have to learn the capacity
I
first.
don't think they have it, but we're actually built, born and built for it.
Yes.
Like, oh, oh, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, because you're here. How do you know that that's true, that you're supposed to be here? Because here is where you are. Okay, well, if you trusted it and trusted your body knew what to do with it, a lot of like what was surprising about some of this is that like, oh, stuff that I felt like I should be angry about, I really wasn't as angry anymore.
Really?
Stuff I was like, oh, I think I'm sad about that. Actually, no, you're just done and you're prolonging with these constructs. So
Hmm.
a lot of lies, because like, oh, here's what my brain is telling me versus here's where I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that sounds a little bit mixy, but there was a real lesson in discovering more about self-talk and the reticular activating system of the brain, which is like neuroscience. And I love you for having like
Love it.
that capacity and experience. Like, God, yeah, more all day, please. So learning about like what is it that I believe that I'm perpetuating that I think is being done to me, or like what do I think is happening to me versus what am I creating myself
Mm-hmm.
based on repetition. And like I had a real thought that like I was supposed to be suffering for a long, long time.
Hmm.
And like, oh, okay, is that what's going on here? So have you can get fast at your self-care and discernment. Like those are skills that you can go fast at once you know and what you are clear about.
So in 2004, you got the clarity, but then it took,
2004, it was ultimately so unmanageable that I was
oh,
willing to go get help. It was a like I felt like there was, oh, okay. And there was a pinnacle person who I had a dream about last night who I haven't dreamed about in a long, long time.
hmm.
And I was like, pinnacle person. Okay, cool. And so that person brought me into a completely different world of support. And I felt like they were a little bit of a conductor
Hmm.
for me to like jump tracks into new life.
Mhm. Hmm. When did you, from there, because then you ended up starting your own business, which I absolutely adore what you do. Um, and with between your books and the copywriting and your perspective on all these things, it's amazing because that's like, it's almost like those are just like the gateway drugs. Because the truth is like you way deliver so much because of your experience, because of your know and your grace for others. I mean, I don't know how many
Thank
times when we
you.
were working together, you checked in on me and you were like, well, you don't have to. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm just going to do it. And you're like, did you sleep? Did you eat? And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, 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 I will do that next week. Like, we got to, you know. And it was so funny because so many times she would ask me questions to point out that I needed to slow down. And I was like, no. And and so I sit there and I think like, but I was grateful because if you hadn't, like, yes, I didn't need to slow down, but it was not sustainable.
Right.
And you would even say things like that, like, well, are we going to keep this pace? Because I don't know if it's sustainable. And I would be like, oh yeah, no, just for a month, or just for a week, or just,
Mhm.
and I always have like these sprints, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this. And so when I sit there and I look at your situation and think like, okay, so in 2004 you started getting it together, right? And then
Yep.
that obviously takes years, like despite what everyone thinks. Like,
But like so much can happen because
yeah.
in that slowing down, you're actually making more time. I don't know if that was your experience at all,
Mm-hmm.
because you've had a whole year of like a lot of change and
Oh yeah,
doing
this whole
stuff
year I
real
can't do
different.
shit.
Yeah, but like it opens up so much, surprisingly.
It's the 80/20.
There's that. There's that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I slow down, everything skyrockets in a different trajectory. And I'm like, oh, look at that
Yeah.
go.
Are we going there? Look at that.
That's great. That was easy.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it's so fun to be like, I have a new sort of area of focus around like, oh, if I'm all slowed down and stuff, then what is life doing? Oh, life is coming to me. Oh, what is money doing? Oh, money's coming to me. How is it doing it? I'm like, that's not my job. My job is to stay open and look for opportunity. And usually it's coming to me.
And is that how the businesses came to you?
Yeah, the businesses were like, am I interested in anything at all? And then I was like, let's look around. Yeah, this social media in 2000, 7, 8,
Mhm,
when it was fad.
mhm.
I was like, yeah, I could learn that. And then by the time it was in mainstream, I had been out for a year. So I'm like, I learned that I tend to like hit waves early. There's sometimes the marketing people call it, the sales people call it early adopter. I'm like, yeah, top like first 10.
Mhm.
I want to be in line. I'm interested. Let's check it out. Am I interested? Yes, no. Like trusting your instinct and trusting your body is a lot of what the last 21 years have been. And it progresses. So people think, oh my God, it's torturous to slow down. And it is in some ways, but if you're available to take a look at what else is available besides the like complete torture and like I'm inclined to drama,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mm.
I like a lot of television and movies. I like script writing, I like communication, I like visual effects. So I also tend to offer it. So
You did. You did bring it.
like that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. And what else is available? Because um like the word that's coming to me now is indulgent, and it can be very indulgent to focus on the problem versus being available for a solution.
So that's what you did with the businesses.
Yep. Am I interested in anything at all? Oh, that? Okay, let's learn more about that. Oh my God, I didn't know that about it. And that's over here, and that's what this person's doing, and that's how that's connected. Oh my God, amazing. And then I'm in it for 2 or 3 years and then I'm done.
Hmm.
That was the same for like moving across the country and being in New York for 2 years. I'm like, tell me all about it. I think I'm ready for this change. Went from California for most of my life to what I now call a long layover in New York, like in my life. And then I've been back here in Seattle since 2005, and I don't feel like I need to go anywhere else.
Hmm.
So, like, okay, understanding my flow and how I tend to go into projects, positions, jobs, businesses, like, okay, great.
Okay, so I have another question then. So in this process of going through those things, you are a highly intuitive person and like healing, all this stuff. Tell me about that and how that integrated and where it started and evolved. What's that like? Because your businesses are very much about healing
Hmm.
and you put it in a construct that Western society can understand. And I think that that's amazing.
Thank you. I think we all have kind of an intuitive gig, which is
Yeah.
also part of why you and I get along really, really well together. And so I think it's kind of always been there, or even if it hasn't been like um polished or honed or grown or developed or any of that. I think that I believe that we're a creative species that's meant to be here and explore. So that means creativity, that means intuitive sense, that means we're drawn to things we're drawn to, and that understanding of everyone's going to be drawn to something that they want to be drawn to
Mhm.
for their best expression, their biggest expansion. Like, okay, great. What is it? I like for them to feel, for people to feel like they're in a space of like somebody else really wants to know is hugely expansive in itself. So, and people often don't feel safe in it, don't trust it. They're afraid of being judged, they're afraid of being shamed. And like having someone who's can be there and witness it without taking it on or or like, oh yes, I hear that that happened to you. Now let me tell you what happened to me.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
then like the one up of like the race to the bottom of the barrel. Like, no. So those are things that I think is just part of our humanity's growth
Hmm.
right now is learning more about yeah, I understand what this experience can be, what I'm interested in, how we connect together, and then also that you have a completely potential different set of experiences, nuances, reasons for like behaving or thinking or talking the way that you do. And like if I'm that person that they want to work with, then that's just what we do. And we go to a place where like, tell me more about that, which is just very open,
Hmm.
like where we have space and time, which is very elusive for folks in Western culture these days.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, we only have time.
Hmm.
We always have time. We can actually make more time. So do you want to? And sometimes they do, and sometimes they're like really just attached to um, what the problem is for
Hmm.
them, what they perceive as the problem for them.
Hmm.
And I that they don't have, no one has to do anything. No one has to do anything. I didn't have to do anything. I just was
Chose to.
done. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't actually do it myself.
Yeah.
And I was very open to what was going to happen next.
How are you in a relationship where, I mean, you both are very accepting of each other.
Mhm.
And I think that that's one of the things that I love is I don't find a lot of people as blissful in their relationship as I am in mine, and you are that way, where I'm just like oblivious to the outside world. I'm like, no, my person was delivered to me like
Yep.
and they're perfect.
Hmm.
And we just share everything. There's so much acceptance. And I see that like you guys have so much acceptance and support together. And I just wonder how that is because um my it's different, right? Nobody is special, but everyone's unique and relationships are that way too. And when I look at yours with everything that you've gone through, you guys have been together a while and you support that, it's just tell me about that, how this works with all this stuff because you're still growing. We all are still growing, but you're very out there with it. There's never a band-aid on anymore. You're one of the first people I know that will say, no, actually, it turns out I'm going through a growth thing again. And I'm like, sweet, let's talk about like you're so acutely aware. Like, how does she deal with that? And is she the same way? Like, I don't know much,
Mm.
but because my spouse is not totally 100% supportive. But if I'm
Hmm.
like, you should meditate. He'd be like, well, that's what the whiskey and cigars are for.
I am in my way.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, how's that work for you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like it's so interesting. This is my second married relationship, and
Okay.
so like I had a lot of experience as well with the you should and why are you not and blah blah. And that was me trying to arrange the furniture on a situation that I had no control over.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, this should be happening on the outside because I'm uncomfortable and very squirmy on the inside. And it was never enough. So I don't tell my partner what to do or what she should be doing. Or I have no idea what she should be doing.
Right.
I like, oh, what do you think you should be doing? If she comes to me with a like, I think this is not working. I'm like, oh, okay, what tell me more about that. And how did you find out about whatever it is? And it doesn't really matter because I know that I've done enough work to where I'm like, oh, I'm actually satisfied and things are fine.
I just had an epiphany. Do you think that it's because we are so uniquely independent? Like all four of us, right?
Hmm. In the
Like,
plot.
yeah.
Oh, all four of us partner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You, your spouse, me, my spouse. We are very, very uniquely different, but fiercely independent. And so I wonder if that's because, to your point, you've done all this work.
Yeah.
And I don't know about,
She has done tons of work.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you honor and respect the individuality. You don't try to be one relationship, which I see a lot of people do. Do you think that's what it is?
I think that's totally a positive aspect of it.
Yeah, because we're
Like,
that way too.
yeah, like yeah, what do we want to do? What do I want to do? And what do we want to do? One of the games that my partner's name is Jennifer. One of the games that we have is like, what percent are you interested in that?
Ooh,
Which is great out of 100.
such a healthy
So
question.
like, okay, I'm like, and that's how sometimes I don't know. Like, I'm very interested. Could still mean, you know, based on that energy, I'm about 36%. Which means not that interested. But if I can say, oh, 36%, and if she's at like 85% and it's coming up to like either like over 50, then if it's under 50, we know it ain't happening. But if it's like around 50, then we can discuss more about like,
Mm.
yeah, I'm good with this part of it, or I'd like to leave at this time of it, or I really want to miss this aspect of it. Like then we have more to just work with.
When you have the no and there's a compromise in there, like what if you're like, no, I'm like actually -10
Yeah,
and she's 85
have a great time.
because you're just like, no, but
For
go for
me,
it.
no, and please do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And we don't have to do 105,000 things together.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
can, we do, but we don't have to.
We hardly do anything together. We have dinner together.
Hmm.
That's the one thing that
Yeah.
he's like.
Yep.
we need to have dinner together.
Yep.
And even then we don't eat the same food. So it's very separate
But it's
meals.
like, also, do you find that it's also given, like, oh yeah, I like this person exactly as they are.
Yeah.
No upgrade required. I
Yeah.
don't need to make anything happen in this other person for them, for me to love them
Yeah.
and love living with them. So, like, yeah, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah. Exactly. Hmm. Yeah, I think that that is such a key thing. I see a lot with like my clients relationship challenges. And it always amazes me the choices they made to go into them. And to your point, it's a lot of this healing. It's a lot of it's okay to say no. And your spouse isn't going, they're not with you because you're saying yes.
Right.
Actually, someone dumped me because they thought I was too accommodating. And I was like, I just don't give a shit. Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. If you want to do that and you want someone to sit at co-pilot, all right.
Great. Well, and like, I had a relationship before where I was like, I don't really have a spreadsheet for that. I'm not tracking. Like, if
That's a
that's
good
your
point.
approach, then no thanks.
Mhm.
No and no thanks.
Yeah.
But I don't have, like, I'm not keeping score like that. I'm not tracking like that. If you have an overextending fear of being screwed over and nothing is going to satisfy you, then I think that's your answer. And it is not me.
Hmm.
That is not mine.
Hmm.
I think understanding that, and like, because we humans, we can have big, messy emotions, and like, we affect each other.
Speak for yourself. I have disassociation
You got
disorder.
nothing? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just
I'm
me.
kidding. Yeah.
That's just me. Okay. I can.
How's the healing going?
So good. I'm not gonna say another word about it. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so funny. But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's so funny because people discount their own emotions or when people have big ones. Because you know, my kids, I got one of each. So one has such extreme emotions that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one is like, we just sit and watch her explode. And then at the same time, then the other two of us get really upset because the other one, we're just like, I know this, you're in pain. And she's just, yep.
Stoic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Where you at in there? Yeah.
I've seen your charts, ladies,
Yeah. I know what's in there.
But
Yes.
it's amazing how people take these perspectives of these big emotions. But that's the human experience.
It is. It is. And so, like, what's appropriate and safe at the moment? And is it based on something I think I heard or words that were actually spoken?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of vagueness that gets tossed around inside of emotion. And so some people that I have been close with and some people that I've grown up with, like, they're very quick and know how they feel in that moment. They're angry, they're lashing out, they don't have a filter, they go. And I have capacity for that, but I don't like using it.
Mhm.
I'm like, I have used it. I don't like who I am when I do. And I'd rather take a step back, go process and like regulate so I can be here and I can make my own decision,
Mhm.
not make a decision or accommodate a request or I can't tell you how many relationships where people were like, I want you to promise me that no matter what happens in this relationship, that X is going to happen after. And I'm like, okay, having no idea how I was going to feel after.
Mm.
So, their version or their perspective could be that, oh, I don't keep my promises when I should have never made that promise or agreed to that promise in the first place.
And it's such the learning process.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And
You
so
don't know until you have the experience.
right. And that may or may not have been, I have no idea because I really don't need to follow up or look under a rock. Like, okay, I don't know why they were trying to exact a promise. Like, you need some certainty, you need some something. I I don't have that either. So, like, I'd rather just be here right now. We
Mhm.
got some beef to like go through, then let's go through it. But can we do that in a way that's like clear and not blamey, and also aware of how we feel
Mhm.
and what we want to do.
Well, and I see you do that in the businesses too, and the communities, just it is how you show up. You always pause people. You always kind of walk through the right questions of, well, do we know what the experience is going to be? And this could be as something as like minor as like a launch, which I guess for some people would be large, but I'm like peanuts.
Right?
Uh,
Let's do another one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, ah! Like it's okay, that one failed. We'll slide that one. We're going to slip this one in.
Mhm.
But but the truth is they don't they don't think about that. They don't think about, I don't know what this experience is going to do to me. It was one of the things that I found just beautiful about Susie when, just looked at me and was like, well, my death is going to have a huge impact on you. And I was like, yeah. And I don't have the time to process that because it's rapid. And then she was like, oh, am I dying soon? I was like, yeah, this week, lady, and she was like, oh, and I was like, yeah. So she's like, and I was like, I don't know how it's going to impact me. I've never lost a friend, like a best friend,
Yeah.
So, promise you'll never leave me.
I'm like, I can't possibly
Right.
do that.
Yeah. And that's people just don't think it through.
Right.
That
Right.
experience of how am I going to react and behave? And it was shocking that, and to your point, like I gave myself that grace when Susie died, which people were surprised over. I've had lots of loss in my life and very
Mhm.
rarely cried, and just been like, all right, that person's dead. They've exited. Let's move on.
Mhm.
But it was like, oh no, I think I have a broken heart,
It's
right?
significant. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing that in business, people look at numbers. They look at, and I know that
We
you,
do.
yeah, like there's the numbers, there's the fads, trending tech, all these things. You have a million and one different ways to make money, to impact society, all of that. And I think that they never measure the experience.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's something that's like, oh, it's so elusive. And can it be based on numbers? Can the experience be based on numbers? I don't know. Interesting question, but were you there for it? Did you miss it? Like, were you being yelled at to like come home and have dinner? Like, what else was happening? Because like it's very rare in this already fast moving society that we are aware and present.
Right.
Like, did I miss my own launch? It was great, but what happened? Yeah.
Y'all telling me it went well? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyone want to recap me?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so that whole external thing has completely bypasses the internal. Like, did it accomplish what I needed it to accomplish?
Mhm.
What was that? Do I know what that was? Or am I being like fished into like hooked and fished into the next
Mhm.
without being satisfied about that's totally complete and I did it.
Do you think these other businesses built to like some other business, or what are you looking at ahead? Because you have so much experience and so many skills. And when you look at humanity and society, you've built a lot of these foundational pieces from what I've seen. Is there something that you're like, maybe this is what it looks like? Or are you still filling it out? Like what's next for you?
I have no idea. I
Oh,
think I
okay.
really
Yeah, I love
like
that.
I am making a lot of space right now because I really am drawn to having a lot of space and quiet right now.
Right?
And that's perfectly okay. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's going to last until I'm like, oh, am I at all interested in this?
Yeah.
But what I can say, and this is like something that can be cultivated, is if you look at all your experiences in your life, they can inform exactly what you do in the next. So I can say about every single job and every business that I've created, every relationship, like every stage presentation I've done, I use it all.
Mhm.
There's nothing that's wasted. Like people are so willing to like just have it flip out that I don't want to waste my time. Well, what if none of it has been wasted? If you go back and look at it for what it is and what it gave you, sometimes what you lost,
Mhm.
that's the answer,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh, okay, if you can go look at it again, you can rework it, you can look for certain aspects of it. I know this is very vague, but how do you discover whether or not a job, like I sold these boutique hot dogs for a little while.
Shut up.
I really did.
Okay.
And I really did, not long, but I really did. And I learned the importance of like beer and steamed buns and whatever when I was selling these dogs. And like there was some real creativity in how they put those recipes and presentation together.
Okay.
Like the California dog, which was basically a BLT on a hot dog
Mhm.
without the lettuce.
Mhm.
So like guacamole, um, tomato and bacon was the California dog,
Mhm.
which was sold inside of California. And I was like, somebody got really creative and we sold a lot of them.
Mhm.
So, like, okay. There was also an element of craftsmanship in creating that recipe for a person who's going to consume it, right? So it doesn't really matter what it is. What you take from it can still be like you can still take more from your own experience.
Yeah, I think so. And like you said, it all is a pattern. And that's what I think sometimes, like when I'm doing people's charts, they don't understand. Like, no, the birth chart is your pattern. Like,
Right.
these are the things you're here to learn and experience. Not today, not yesterday, your life.
Yeah.
That same pattern repeats every 12 years.
It's a long game.
You're going to keep repeating this. Yeah. And it's your choice to integrate it how you want. And so that the pattern's different next time.
Right.
But
Right.
you can look back and go, and it doesn't take long. Like I think people can start seeing it in their 40s, really like cognizing it and
Yep.
integrating it and going, I've got this pattern. After the third time around, they really are like, oh,
Right.
and then they approach that fourth time around, and it's like, yeah, okay, I see what's happening here. And but you learn to hone in on it,
Right.
and that really is what builds us this hustle of what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, my God, grown-ups don't know. There's people in retirement homes that are like, I don't know.
Right.
I just went.
Right. But yeah, and that's not wrong.
Exactly.
That's 100% not wrong. Like they can take from it, like they can be excited about that.
Hmm. And it's having that human experience. You need to have that human experience because if you don't, you don't know if it's right for you or not, right? And
Right.
you're showing that. Like you say no now. You didn't say no before.
Nope.
And so you had to learn that. And you always show up with so much peace and calmness and confidence because you know yourself, just
Yeah.
like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that doesn't mean I can't change or won't change or that I'm gonna get it wrong sometimes.
And that's how you're sitting here in peace right now, going, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. 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 It's not gonna hurt me that like this gets published and I have no idea.
Yeah,
So, like,
it's still a
yeah,
chapter.
it's
Still.
totally valid. And if I look back, I'm like, oh, here's another time where I had a few months. Here's another time where I was like kind of checked out. Here's 15 months of my life where I was like in a fetal position for a while and it was kind of empty.
Mhm.
Okay, this is not new.
Yeah,
It's new, but it's also familiar.
yeah, yeah. It's so true. One of my kids is having a really hard time right now, and she called me, and it was super funny because I was like, "Oh no, I was about your age when I had a nervous breakdown." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like,
You had a life before me?
"Right."
Hold, please.
And she's like, "What?" I go, "No, Google it. Like, look at what a nervous breakdown is. That's what I had." And
Mhm.
she was like, "I'm okay." And I was like, "Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this happens to people.
yes."
Yeah.
And I was like, and this is pivotal. This is when you know, now I've had these experiences
Yep.
and now I know they're not for me.
Yep.
And there's
Yep.
something I'm unaware of that I don't know about myself, and it's time for it to come out.
Right. And I can also claim that that happened. It's not going to hurt me or decimate me, but I can claim it as my experience. And like that gets to be a scar story.
Yeah.
And that's something that is earned.
I was just gonna say that it's a badge of honor
Oh my gosh.
because it's
Yeah.
not like you were saying earlier, digging to the bottom of the barrel, right? And people do that, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
You want
Like,
to go there?
she's
Yeah.
ashwagandha. Heard of it? Go find some. But it's so weird. Or like, it's like the little kids, like, well, I got this scar. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you were dumber than me. Good.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you did this really cool thing. And yeah, maybe it was cool to jump off the roof with a sheet and fall. But
Yeah.
it's an experience, that's for sure.
What'd you get from that?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
cool scar.
Yeah.
But it at the same time, like I think one of the things that I recognize in you is you're not diving to the bottom of the barrel. And we've had a lot of same experiences that it's just other people would still be wearing the trauma badge and being a victim about it. And you flip that script and you're like, it is a badge of honor because you rose from it.
Yeah.
And that's the part you focus on is your strength, your courage, your knowledge and experience. You're not here as that victim. So how do you discern who you're going to engage with? Because both are out there,
Mm.
and you're the queen of no. So did you
I'm a
say
good
no?
friend of
No.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you're so good about it because you're just like very like just for clarity, occasionally she says no. The reality is you make it like poetic.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you really
Thank
do.
you.
Like you ask the question of like, hmm, you're right. I don't have that in my savings account. And if it does go wrong, because you ask questions to make people think,
Hmm.
and very rarely do you actually say no. I think you've said no to me twice. That's it. And you said it like, yeah, that ain't happening. Or, I don't feel that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. That's no.
Yeah.
But you're so great at it.
Thanks.
So how do you
Thanks.
discern who you're going to engage with because you had those patterns, and I don't know at what point those patterns are gone. They're no longer a pattern. They're just a distant memory that you're like, that was a different time in person.
Hmm.
So do those patterns come back and do they affect your discernment now? And how do you use that for who you're going to engage with if they're climbing out of the barrel or to the bottom?
In terms of like a
Humans.
client, humans. I think I think I let there be a little bit of time where like I observe and I get to know. And then I check for resonance in my body as part of my discernment.
Oh yeah, you do that. I love that.
So I'm kind of like, I'm not getting it. Or, oh yeah, I totally get it. And that has nothing to do with the other person. That's everything to do with inner radar.
Mhm.
Like, oh, that's pinging here. Oh, that's pinging here. Oh, no, I got nothing. And that like every answer is exactly acceptable.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I don't have to get anything. So the pressure is removed. If you're practicing in discernment with some form of pressure, you're not giving yourself a fair shake,
Mhm.
or a real freedom for it. So discernment for me is more like, am I willing to listen to more of what it is they're saying? Am I on, like, do I have any resonance for their message or their activity or what I'm perceiving? And then, like, how does it feel? Like, for some people, I really don't like listening to them because I don't believe what they're saying.
Mhm.
Our beliefs are not the same.
Mhm.
And for some, I'm just like, I'm not in that place.
Mhm.
I'm not in
Yeah.
that place. And so it's okay to have my own company as well,
Mhm.
which is like, I'm fine with or without. And in terms of like going and seeking out, like those people are delivered to me in communities of all kinds.
Mhm.
And that's life delivering to me. That's not them, like, I don't have to make anything happen.
Mhm.
Right. So,
Mhm.
like, Oh, okay, I checked out this coach and their program back in 23 and I got like super best friend out of it.
Mm,
Like the shows that we went to, like I got some really good friends and you out of it. Like like yeah. And it's going to go on for however long it's going to go on. I don't know what those relationships are always for. I don't know why, but like reconnecting and being in communication and thinking about people that make me feel good, like that's just, I prefer that.
mhm,
I just prefer. So I let myself have the relationships that feel good.
mhm, mhm. Makes sense.
Did that answer your question?
It sure did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, back and forth, I think early on we were like, I think we're working together. I don't know how we're working together.
Mhm.
I think we're working together. I don't know how we're working together. When we worked together for a little while, and it was like, okay, yeah, and I want to work with you and not in this capacity.
Yeah.
And so, like, that was a point, I think, in our friendship where I was like, can I tell her what it is I need? And turns out, yes.
Yeah.
And so that was also a point of growth in me, but also between us.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Well, and it brought a lot of observation to me too, because I was like, okay, wicked smart, really fast, high standards, all the things that I was like, yeah, these are things that I
I
like.
see in you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were kind of like, I could easily, and I saw this recognition of like, this could be all consuming because we had those commonalities, which I think for both of us, we're usually the one that is the isolated incident. And when you brought that together, I think we both had a recognition that this could explode like into burnout, into, and I have so many people tell me, like, you're going to get burnout. I'm like, no, it's an autoimmune disease, you dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
burnt
know what
out.
it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, and there's things you do about it. Yes, I have been burnt out before. I'm not an idiot.
Right.
I shouldn't say that because you're not an idiot. You end
No.
up in burnout because, well, that's another topic.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so let's stop.
It's not that.
Right. But it's not that. But I do have, because of that, I recognize it. And I think
Right.
you and I both went, we could be in burnout. We saw the pieces line up exactly right to where it was going to create that.
Yep.
And we would have made this amazing thing and we would have made it work because that's what we do. But at the end of the day, was it going to be worth it? And were we going to still be here?
Right.
And I think we both stopped and said, I like where we're at. Let's not go down there and make it a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting you brought that up though, because I have that come up with a lot of people. And I have very similar situations where I really like someone. And then it turns out they can't be, they can't allow that autonomy, because Susie was one of my business partners too.
Yep.
And she even said, I'm surprised at how well it went. And we became such close friends afterwards. And I think, gosh, what are these business people doing? I mean, I know what they're doing.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, ah! But
Right.
it's such a big thing because at the same time, it it's something missing. And I think that all the lessons and all the experiences you've had allow that, and you have that, like you're saying, the discernment. Yeah, but it's just about the quality of the relationship and where you want it to go. And you get those flags, green flags and red flags.
Yep. Yep. Rainbow flags, purple flags, glitter flags. Yeah.
I like teal.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah. That feels good. Yeah. And so, like, that's just noticing, right? I think is that part of self-awareness for you?
Noticing.
Mhm. Flags, people.
I would say for sure. I very quickly filter people out if they have low self-awareness. And I
Yeah.
choose if I
You do. No. It's a skill. It's a skill.
Well, and I get told for people a lot, like your ability you move quick and you can fire people not just from jobs, but
Hmm.
I release people
Hmm.
is how I look at it. But I fire people very quickly and put them on the path they're supposed to be on. Because I'm highly, highly curious. And because of that curiosity, I my observations of people's behavior, interactions, everything scares people,
Yeah.
and
You're
it's
very targeted. You're
mm-hmm,
laser quick and
mm-hmm,
sure.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll just make a decision quickly.
Yeah.
And if I get to a point where it's unfortunate that I'm engaged with them and I can't end it, I will very strategically divert their attention to stay out of my way.
Hmm.
And I'll be like, you know what? I think you like violets. Oh, I do like violets. Great. You go water the violets.
Hmm.
I know you're the CPO, the
Hmm.
CEO or CFO, right? Whatever. I
Hmm.
know that that's what you do,
Right.
but go give yourself some joy. And I divert them strategically so we can go get things done,
Right.
even in a social setting.
Yeah. And
I'll
they
be
can enjoy themselves.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't, and I just don't feel like raising you up because you do get to a point where there's everyone in his life is in these different stages. There is someone out there to raise that person up. It's not me.
Yeah.
The people I need to raise up and feed into are waiting for me to come into their life to take them to the next place. And I think that
Mm.
that's very much how you are too. Like you are in and out, but I've seen you do the very similar things and you show up specific for the people that you are there to serve, understanding there are other people that's how Susie and I work together so well.
Yep.
I'd be like, okay, this client I'm referring to you, they're crying, not my gag. Like,
Hmm.
here you go. They're crying. You fix all that. When they need strategy, send them back
Right.
to me.
Right.
And that's we just for years worked that way. And I think that if their self-awareness is low enough, I can tell in it's their tone,
Mm.
it's their body language, the things that they unspokenly dedicate to.
Yeah.
Um, there's I have a thousand different
The
indicators.
tells.
Yeah. And it doesn't take much. I was in a situation yesterday where I've been very curious about somebody, right? And I've been engaging with them, watching how they respond. And and then yesterday I was like, oh, and there we go. I knew, but I didn't, I needed proof. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
test it until I decide if I want to work with you.
Let's see.
Yeah, and this
Hmm.
was a potential client. And what had happened is I was waiting because I was like, I don't know. They'd asked me a couple times. And finally, and like, so for 2 weeks, I watched them
Hmm.
because they're in the environment that I'm in. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not your person. Actually, you need a
Right.
fucking therapist.
Right.
Which is great. I love my therapist. I will
Hmm.
never, unless something happens and she just exits,
Right.
but
Don't do that.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, really,
Yeah.
really like her.
Right.
But it is a very interesting thing
Hmm.
where that self-awareness is huge.
Oh my gosh. Well, and like letting yourself like not be the person. Like, I'm not the person. And
Oh,
just being clear about that is like a gift to them because there's no, you're sure. I'm sure. Like, I don't think it's me.
mhm.
And also like letting them have their full experience of, like, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that when people are looking at that for themselves, they need to pause and do the things you do or what that looks like for them.
Whatever it looks like for them.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of trial and error, but that's also not a waste of time because
Mhm.
how are you going to know?
Oh, people, because I move so fast, they assume, and I think this happens to you too, because I've seen it. They assume since we move so fast that we make decisions fast. Oh, hold up. Not unless it's ice cream.
Hmm.
I take lots of time to make a decision. And obviously, I just got done saying I've been
Hmm.
watching this person.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I really have to be in the 90 percentile to your point before I'm going to make a decision.
Right. Right. Interesting, right?
Mhm.
Like I've this whole space thing where like a lot of things in my life kind of came to a full and complete stop in 2025. And I'm like, yeah, okay, great. That means I'm being prepared. I need to rest. Other things are going on. That's all fine.
Well, and you had a lot of things go on. So it's like if you hadn't stopped, you wouldn't have had space for those.
I would not. I would not. And so like going back and reinforcing, I'm like, yeah, that was correct. Like claiming the correctness of the timing. Like everybody wants to hurry up. A lot of people want to hurry up. And that's they don't know where they're going.
Mhm.
So hurrying is not gonna get them anywhere they want to go any faster. Like it might, what if you're 1 degree off?
Right.
In 1,000 miles, that makes a big difference. If
Mhm.
you're
Really,
I'm like,
really does.
okay, so where do I want to go? And so like having that's taking a long time for me to be aware of and let that next intuitive hit sort of come in and direct me.
Mhm.
Apparently, I have time
Mhm.
because this is how I feel right now. So, trusting the timing, trusting yourself, and then like continuing on with self awareness is just that's plenty. What do
Mhm.
you think about that? Is that plenty?
Mhm. I think the self-awareness and a positive relationship with time. Because like you knew this, because when I was like, yes, I need help, I have this very short timeline. And if I don't hit it, it won't work for the rest of my life. And and then it was just because everything, like I knew I was going to get sick. So if this isn't done, I will not have capacity to do it.
Mhm.
And look what happened. And I was like, thank God I got the things done that needed to get done.
Huge.
I spent a lot of money to meet that timeline,
Mm-hmm.
but it happened. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I built all of that to blow it up. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But that experience of that year
Yeah.
has been phenomenal for me.
Yeah.
Like really phenomenal. Even how I addressed this last flare up of being like, okay, I'm going to allow myself this much time to mourn it. I'm going to process it. And what did that mean? That didn't mean like in my free time. It meant that's all I was doing.
Right.
And it was amazing because allowing myself to do that, there was no negative self-talk. There
Nice.
was no like, this is going to be me the rest of my life. I allowed myself to have these cognitions, but if you understand time in a positive perspective and use it as a tool for positively doing things, and then you have this self-awareness, that is intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And that intuition shows up different for everyone, and you can grow it as much as you want, but that is really going to make your life story, I think. And you are proof of that.
It can go any way you
Yeah.
want it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
This is a treat. Like an in person with Jessica Martin.
Oh,
Oh
so
yeah.
rare.
Yeah.
So rare.
It's totally rare. I think this is like the fourth time I've seen you in person in the last 3 years. Something.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that checks out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Zoom time, but also like in person.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.